Welcome, Michelle. Welcome, Dee Dee and Jayantha. All right, let's get started. Today is Thursday, English Day, page 10. Homage to the Sublime One, the Worthy One, the Fully Enlightened One. Homage to the Sublime One, the Worthy One, the Fully Enlightened One. Homage to the Sublime One, the Worthy One, the Fully Enlightened One. I go to the Buddha for refuge. I go to the Dhamma for refuge. I go to the Sangha for refuge. A second time I go to the Buddha for refuge. A second time I go to the Dhamma for refuge. A second time I go to the Sangha for refuge. A third time I go to the Buddha for refuge. A third time I go to the Dhamma for refuge. A third time I go to the Sangha for refuge. The 3 refuges are complete. I undertake the training rule to abstain from taking life. I undertake the training rule to abstain from taking what is not given. I undertake the training rule to abstain from sensual misconduct. I undertake the training rule to abstain from false speech. I undertake the training rule to abstain from intoxicating drinks and drugs causing heedlessness. Having well undertaken and kept the 5 precepts together with the 3 refuges, one should strive on with diligence. With morality, good rebirth is gained. With morality, wealth is achieved. With morality, perfect peace is attained. Therefore, morality should be purified. All right. Page 24. Homage to the Sublime One, the Worthy One, the Fully Enlightened One. Homage to the Sublime One, the Worthy One, the Fully Enlightened One. Homage to the Sublime One, the Worthy One, the Fully Enlightened One. Such indeed is the Sublime One, worthy, perfectly enlightened, perfect in true knowledge and conduct, well gone, knower of the world, supreme trainer of persons to be tamed, teacher of gods and humans, enlightened and exalted. Well expounded is the Dhamma by the Sublime One, directly visible, unaffected by time, calling one to come and see, leading onwards to be realized by the wise. The order of the Sublime One's disciples is practicing well. The order of the Sublime One's disciples is of upright conduct. The order of the Sublime One's disciples has entered the right path. The order of the Sublime One's disciples is practicing correctly. That is, the 4 pairs of persons, the 8 kinds of individuals. This order of the Sublime One's disciples is worthy of offerings and hospitality, worthy of gifts and salutation, supreme field of merit for the world. The Buddha, well purified, with ocean-like compassion, possessed of the eye of knowledge, completely purified, destroyer of the evils and corruption of the world, I revere that Buddha with devotion. Homage to you, so nobly bred. Homage to you amongst men supreme. Peerless are you in all the world. May all homage be given to you. The teacher's Dhamma, like a lamp, divided into path, fruition, and the deathless, both itself transcendent and showing the way to that goal, I revere that Dhamma with devotion. Thoroughly understanding the Dhamma and freed from longing through insight, the wise one who is rid of all desire is calm as a pool unstirred by wind. Those to whom the Dhamma is clear are not led into other doctrines. Perfectly enlightened with perfect knowledge, they walk evenly over the uneven. Of all the medicines in the world, manifold and various, there is none like the medicine of Dhamma. Therefore, O monks, drink of this. Having drunk this Dhamma medicine, you will be ageless and beyond death. Having developed and seen the truth, you will be quenched, free from craving. The Sangha called to feel better than the best, who have seen peace, awakening after the Buddha's good way, who have abandoned attachments, the noble ones, the wise. I revere that Sangha with devotion. Happy is the rising of the Buddhas. Happy is the teaching of the true Dhamma. Happy is the unity of the Sangha. Happy is the discipline of the united ones. They go to many a refuge, those who have been struck by fear. They go to mountains and forests, to parks and trees and shrines. But none of these is a secure refuge. None is the refuge supreme. Not by relying on such a refuge can one be freed from all suffering. But one who has gone for refuge to the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha sees with perfect wisdom the 4 noble truths: suffering, the arising of suffering, the transcending of suffering, and the noble eightfold path that leads to suffering's final end. This is the refuge that is secure. This is the refuge that is supreme. By relying on such a refuge as this, one is released from all suffering. By this practice of Dhamma in accord with the Dhamma, I respect the Buddha. By this practice of Dhamma in accord with the Dhamma, I respect the Dhamma. By this practice of Dhamma in accord with the Dhamma, I respect the Sangha. All actions are led by the mind. Mind is their master, mind is their maker. Actors speak with a defiled state of mind, and suffering follows, as the cartwheel follows the foot of the ox. All actions are led by the mind. Mind is their master, mind is their maker. Actors speak with a pure state of mind, then happiness follows, as your shadow follows you without departing. Impermanent are all conditioned things, affected by rising and falling away. Having arisen, then they then must cease. Blissful is it when they subside. Abstaining from all evil, doing what is good, cleansing one's mind, this is the teaching of all the Buddhas. Patience is the highest practice. Nibbana is supreme, say the Buddhas. A mendicant does not harm others. A recluse oppresses no one. Not insulting, not harming, restrained according to the moral code. Moderating in food, dwelling in solitude, engaging in higher mental development. This is the teaching of all the Buddhas. By the blessings that have arisen from my practice, may my venerable preceptors and teachers who have helped me, mother, father, and relatives, male and female rulers, worthy powers, virtuous human beings, the higher beings, demons, and high gods, guardian deities of the world, celestial beings, the Lord of Death, friendly people, indifferent and hostile, may all beings be well. May the skillful deeds done by me bring you threefold bliss. May this quickly bring you to the deathless. By means of this meritorious deed and through this aspiration, may I quickly attain the cutting off of craving and clinging. Whatever faults I have until I am liberated, may they quickly perish. Wherever I am born, may there be an upright mind, mindfulness and wisdom, austerity and vigor. May no harmful influences weaken my efforts. The Buddha is the unsurpassed protector. Dhamma is the supreme protection. Peerless is the silent Buddha. The Sangha is my true refuge. By the power of these exalted ones, may I rise above all defilements. By means of this meritorious deed, may I never join with the foolish. May I join always with the wise until the time I attain Nibbana. May the suffering be free from suffering. May the fear-struck be free from fear. May the grieving be free from grief. So too may all beings be. From the highest realm of existence to the lowest, may all beings arisen in these realms, with form and without form, with perception and without perception, be released from all suffering and attain to perfect peace. Excellent, excellent, excellent. All right. Secondary chanting. Page 165. Dhammanupassana, Nivarana pabbang, katang cha bhikkave bhikkhu dhamesu dhammanupassi viharati, idda bhikkave bhikkhu dhamesu dhammanupassi viharati, panchasu nivaranesu katang cha bhikkave bhikkhu dhamesu dhammanupassi viharati, panchasu nivaranesu idda bhikkave bhikkhu santang va ajjatang kammachandang attime ajjatang kammachando tipajanati asantang va ajjatang kammachandang nattime ajjatang kammachando tipajanati yatacha anupannassa kammachandassa upado hoti tanchapajanati yatacha upannassa kammachandassa pahanang hoti tanchapajanati yatacha pahinassa kammachandassa ayating anupado hoti tanchapajanati santang va ajatang vyapadang attime ajatang vyapado tipajanati asantang va ajatang vyapadang natime ajatang vyapado tipajanati Yata cha anupannassa vyapadassa upado hoti tancha pajanati. Yata cha upannassa vyapadassa pahanang hoti tancha pajanati. Yata cha pahinassa vyapadassa ayating anupado hoti tancha pajanati. Santang va jatang tina middang attimeya jatang tina middanti pajanati. Asantang va jatang tina middang natimeya jatang tina middanti pajanati. Yatacha anupannassa tina middassa upado hoti tancha pajanati. Yatacha upannassa tina middassa pahanang hoti tancha pajanati. Yatacha pahinassa tina middassa ayating anupado hoti tancha pajanati. Santang va jatang udacha kukuchang atimeya jatang udacha kukuchanti pajanati. Asantang va jatang udacha kukuchang natimeya jatang udacha kukuchanti pajanati. Yatacha anupannassa udacha kukuchassa upado hoti tancha pajanati. Yatacha upannassa udacha kukuchassa pahanang hoti tancha pajanati. Yatacha pahinassa udacha kukuchassa ayating anupado hoti tancha pajanati. All right, English. Contemplation of phenomena, the 5 hindrances. And how, bhikkhus, does a bhikkhu dwell contemplating phenomena in phenomena? Here, a bhikkhu dwells contemplating phenomena in terms of the 5 hindrances. And how does a bhikkhu dwell contemplating phenomena in terms of the 5 hindrances? Here, there being sensual desire in him, a bhikkhu understands there is sensual desire in me. Or there being no sensual desire in him, he understands there is no sensual desire in me. And he also understands how there comes to be the arising of the unarisen sensual desire, and how there comes to be the abandoning of arisen sensual desire, and how there comes to be the future non-arising of abandoned sensual desire. There being ill will in him, a bhikkhu understands there is ill will in me. Or there being no ill will in him, he understands there is no ill will in me. And he also understands how there comes to be the arising of unarisen ill will, and how there comes to be the abandoning of arisen ill will, and how there comes to be the future non-arising of abandoned ill will. There being dullness and drowsiness in him, a bhikkhu understands there is dullness and drowsiness in me. Or there being no dullness and drowsiness in him, he understands there is no dullness and drowsiness in me. And he also understands how there comes to be the arising of unarisen dullness and drowsiness, and how there comes to be the abandoning of arisen dullness and drowsiness, and how there comes to be the future non-arising of abandoned dullness and drowsiness. There being restlessness and remorse in him, a bhikkhu understands there is restlessness and remorse in me. Or there being no restlessness and remorse in him, he understands there is no restlessness and remorse in me. And he also understands how there comes to be the arising of unarisen restlessness and remorse, and how there comes to be the abandoning of arisen restlessness and remorse, and how there comes to be the future non-arising of abandoned restlessness and remorse. All right, we'll go to our thought of the day. Let's see. So we will do, this is a short one. We'll do the top, there's 3 paragraphs. We'll do the top 2 because the top 1 is just the introduction. Ekang samayang bhagava vesalayang viharati mahavane kutagara salayang atako mahapajapati gotami yena bhagavate nupasankami upasankamitva bhagavantang abhivadetva ekamantang atasi ekamantang titako mahapajapati gotami bhagavantang etadavocha sadhu me bante bhagava sankittena dhammang desetu yang ahang bhagavato dhammang sutva eka vupakata apamata atapini pahin tatta vihareyanti yeko tvang gotami dhamme janeyasi ime dhamma swaragaya samvattanti no viragaya samyogaya samvattanti no visangyogaya achayaya samvattanti no apachayaya mahichataya samvattanti no apichataya asantuttaya asamvattanti no santuttiya Sanganikaya samvattanti no pavivekaya kosajjaya samvattanti no virarambaya dubharataya samvattanti no subharataya ti ekam sena gotami dharayasi neso dhammo neso vinayo netang santusasanti. All right, English. Gautami Sutta. At one time, the Sublime One was staying near Vaisali in the peaked roof hall in the great forest. There, Mahapajapati Gautami, Buddha's aunt slash foster mother who raised him slash first bhikkhuni, approached the Sublime One, and having bowed down to the Sublime One, stood to one side. As she was standing to one side, she said, "It would be good, Venerable Sir, if the Sublime One would teach me the Dhamma in brief, so that, having heard the Dhamma from the Sublime One, I might dwell alone, secluded, diligent, earnest, and resolute." Buddha's response, "Gautami, of the qualities of that which you may know, these qualities lead to passion, not to dispassion, to being fettered, not to being unfettered, to self-aggrandizement, not to self-effacement, to overweening ambition, not to modesty, to discontent, not to contentment, to entanglement, not to seclusion, to laziness, not to arousal of energy, to being burdensome, not to being unburdensome. You, Gautami, may definitely hold. This is not the Dhamma, this is not the Vinaya, this is not the teacher's instruction." All right, friends, so we have this sutta. In the suttas, in the Buddha's teaching, in many places and in many aspects, he doesn't give exact details. Oftentimes because it would be too exhausting, too exhaustive even, to have so much details. But the Buddha's basically kind of giving you this agency of, well, you know for yourself. Right? Is the practice that you're doing leading to less craving, less attachment, less suffering? Or is it not? And the Buddha is saying here, if what you're doing, or if these qualities are leading towards more suffering, more craving, more attachment, more all of these things, right? To self-aggrandizement, to kind of building up the self, all these kind of things, then this is not the Dhamma. Right? This is not the Dhamma. This is not the monastic rules. And so, there's a level of kind of having to judge things for yourself. It's the same thing with like right livelihood. Right? The definition of right livelihood is abandon wrong livelihood, adopt right livelihood. Right? That's so wide open because it kind of has to be. There's lots of ways of making a living, even in the Buddha's day, let alone today. Right? So you have to kind of be able to judge for yourself. And understanding you're not going to be perfect, but to do the best. That's how you grow, and that's how you become more wise, is by trying to do these things, failing, learning from them, and then doing them better the next time. Right? So, if you're examining your mind states, if you're examining kind of like the path that you're on, and it's leading towards more suffering and more craving, then you're not doing the Dhamma. So maybe you need to adjust the sails a little bit on your path so that you move closer, towards the Dhamma path, not the opposite of the Dhamma path. All right, friends, I think we're good for today. So, Sukhi Hotu, may you be happy and at ease, practice well and be well, and may you have a spiritually successful and peaceful practice until we meet again, which, if I'm alive, should be tomorrow morning for another morning monastery experience. And for those of you staying for the meditation, as always, it begins and ends at the bell. Have a good day. All right, friends, have a good day.